Greetings everyone. I'm starting this video outdoor and I'm going to go inside and finish this conversation with you. I want you to take a look at the stuff that I reaped from my garden. You know, squash, beans, potatoes. I'm bringing it over to the garden so you know it's true. Okay? Because my subscribers are not the only one that's going to be watching this video. There are others who are going to be watching it. And I'll tell you why I'm showing you these things. You know, here's pepper. Tomatoes, more pepper, and the sad thing is these things are going to die very shortly because the weather is changing. Right now it's cold. Okay, here are my cabbages and my callaloo, and more pumpkin over the side there. The garden is almost, you know, done now, and you can't plant anymore, you know, because the weather, as I said, is about to change. Winter. You can feel the winter here. Look at my okra. Planted this. My husband planted this garden in Canada. Okay, in our backyard, we section off a part, and we're doing our farming. Now, give me a minute to get inside, please. Yeah. I showed that to you. For the whole summer, I've been showing you our little garden. So proud of it. So happy for it. Okay? I'm trying not to cry in this video because I'm very emotional right now. I'm very emotional, but I'm showing the garden to preface the video. You know, to say that we don't really have to be planting a garden. Because thank goodness we live in a country where even if you are at the bottom of the totem pole and you were hungry, there's offices in this country that you could go and ask for help, okay, to help you buy food. And the supermarket may not always have the best food, but there's food and it's reasonable. We don't have to plant a garden, but we're Jamaicans. And because we come to foreign, doesn't mean that we have to let go of our roots. Especially when my husband is a Rasta man. You know, he's all about health and good living, okay? So, I plant a garden. And I have an advice for some Jamaican criminals. What you need to do is to get a fork and to go dig up some land and plant some seeds, because some of you criminals, you look like some starving dogs. Okay? It's not because you're poor, it's because you're wicked. You're evil. You're lazy. Some of you waste men in Jamaica. Real, I don't even want to say the word. The things you're doing to get money, instead of being a man in a man's world, you're out here acting like some real big. Listen, trying to respect my subscribers today and some decent people that's going to be watching this video. Why am I so angry this morning? I got tears. I had 2 very disturbing dreams this morning. Woke up and shared those dreams and went back to sleep. And because I had those dreams, usually Sunday morning I don't really mess with social media too much because it's my family time. But because of those dreams, I went to go check my social media. I went to check to see if there was any breaking news. I went to see what was happening in my country, because the dreams that I had was death. It was death. There was no if, and, or but. And I know it. And when I look, I saw my friend Claude Sinclair. Claude, I'm doing this video. And if I cuss in it, don't hold it against me, because right now, sometimes it's not good to speak when you're emotional, but I can't help it this morning. When I look, Claude, I saw your video. It moved me to tears when I saw ESPN or ES. Sorry if I'm not getting the name of the radio station. But these guys have influenced my growth. Claude Sinclair, you have invited me to Jamaica. You invited me to that Paul Bogle March. and it changed me. It changed me. Okay? And I'm going to put the name of the radio station because I just got out of bed. I just woke out of my bed and I'm just still disoriented. People that are listening, my friend Claude Sinclair decided that he was going to take some proactive measure to try to deal with, to go out in the streets. He's called Big Stone. And he's out in the streets. That's how I first saw his videos. Out in the streets, talking to real people. Not sitting behind a computer and acting like he cares about Jamaica. He's out in the streets. So I'm moved by this. And as part of his contribution to the country that he lives in, he decides that he wants to go out and take part in a peace initiative. Having a concert in a community where people need to hear the message of peace. And it was shut up. And in a link below or at the end of this video, you'll see his video. He'll tell you with his own words. Shut up. The peace initiative shut up. The concert shut up. Why? Who's so affected? Who's vexed, to use Miss Kitty term? Who vexed? Who is so vexed that someone would stand up and say, enough, enough, enough is enough. We're not going to allow you people to destroy our young girls anymore, to kill our women, to destroy our young boys. We're not going to sit by idly and let you mash up our country. Somebody vex? Who vex? This is going to be a long video. I'm not going to be trying, I'm not editing, and I'm not going to just soften my words to appease some criminals. Somebody shoot up the concert. And I'm saying to myself, well, if you can't talk because you're informer, and you can't protest because you're going to get shot and killed. The man could have been shot and killed. I could have woke up this morning and heard that he's dead. I could have heard that performer, that Rasta man standing on that stage. And I've always said, what's going on with the people? Why aren't they protesting? Why are they coming out? They're not coming out a lot of time because they are afraid. These criminals, these vampires have driven fear in people's mind. But you've got to take back the street, Jamaica. You've got to take back your country. You can't sit there and allow the few criminals. And I know that there's a lot there who is criminal in mind and intent. But they might not pick up a gun and kill anybody. But those who will, those demons who will, you've got to eradicate them. What me say? Gas them and light them. Okay? We ain't got no time for no criminal justice system and all that foolishness. Gas them and light them. You have to get rid of them. You have to get rid of these vampires, these demonic spirits that are in them. It's growing worse and worse. And before you know it, nobody can live there and they got no place to go. Do you understand? I don't have to live there. Because I'm outside of Jamaica at the moment. And I have no problems with living there if I have to live there because it's my place of birth. But when you're going to go out with the intention of doing good in your own country, and people are going to come and shoot it up because they don't like what you're saying, and they know why. The rapist and the killer was in the midst. And if it's not the one who killed that young girl, then it's someone who has intention to do so. So this is why I'm saying, Jamaica, where you got to march. When we talk about march, we're not talking about stupid march where you're out there. Turn over the street. Turn over. Let people understand that we are many. Out of many, we are one. Rich people cannot be divided by poor people because it's only a matter of time before the rich man child who is getting chauffeur driven to school will find himself caught in a crossfire. Rich people, you think that it doesn't affect you, it affects you. Politician man. Hey, Mr. Politician man, you think it's not going to affect you because you can have security at your yard? It's going to affect you. Don't you see what is happening, this demon? First of all, knock down that damn statue at Emancipation Park. Ever since you guys put up that thing there, there's a kind of demon upon the country. A demon energy. Get rid of it. It is showing the people in a very desperate light, looking to heaven, begging for mercy. You need to stop. Is this what you want for the Jamaican people? I'm very emotional right now, people. I'm very angry. I'm angry because now it's starting to sink in. I'm starting to feel like, oh, you can't come back home. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling where I have to come to acceptance that my country is filled with murderous people. The man was there crying peace. And you bring war? It's war. Claude Sinclair, don't you see it's war? It's that it's meted out against the Jamaican people. It's war. And when you're going to war, you cannot go there with conscience. You got to go there with plans. You got to have a commander, a man in charge who put the order out. And if you are a soldier, you have to obey those orders. It's war. It's not the regular run-of-the-mill kind of violence. It's war. Meted out against innocent people. Driving fear in people. Who is behind it? Who is doing it? I don't know and I don't care. At this point when you're in war, you have to be fully loaded. You have to be ready for battle. You have to be ready to die. And when you grab the enemies, you don't treat enemies like they're girls and you're pampering them. You waterboard their ass. You put water down their nose. You gas them and light them. You do whatever. Who cares about human rights when it comes to demons? Humans have rights. Demons, what you do? You nail them at the cross. Vampire, you nail them at the cross. You don't deal with them. You can't deal with animals. When I say animals, we're talking about demonic possession. You can't deal with them like human beings because they're not. You got to take back the streets. Take back the streets. You got to show these beasts that we got a right to be here. Marcus Garvey, Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle fought for the right, for freedom for the people, from individuals who they felt were not fear. Died so that we can live, so we can have liberty. So how is it possible for us not to have liberty in a space where men have shed their blood? Nanny of the Maroons stood up and war against her enemies. And the ones who fought against them, the Maroons, these individuals had to back away and have to give them the rights that they demanded. And it goes on, same thing in, South Africa, when black people found themselves in bondage. And Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela got up and said, no more. And Mandela. So how is it that we have power and strength against, Europeans and other persons we claim used to oppress us? And maybe continue to oppress us in some regards. How you have power and strength, everything happens, you blame the white man. Everything happens, you talk about poverty and how these guys are robbing you and doing bad things to you. And yet, at this moment in time, in this history, it is not the former enslaved people who are jeopardizing the well-being of our Jamaicans right now. It's Jamaican people, black people. They are the ones driving fear. The typical black person in Jamaica now is trying to run away to Europe and North America and different places to go live peacefully among white men and women. And they can't live amongst their own. Whose fault is this? Whose problem is this? This is not the white man's problem. This is the black man's problem. These beasts, these low-life beasts who have no self-esteem or self-value to understand that they're men. Like men. You need to go out there in the world and do things, great things like other men. You're shooting up a concert. What a coward. What a lowlife. And I usually don't refer to human beings as low life, but that is the worst thing that I've ever seen. I am so moved. I'm so angry. Jamaican people in Jamaica and the world abroad, wherever you are, our country is under siege. It's under siege. And our women, they're vulnerable. Our women cannot walk on the street. Our girls can't go to the shop. They can't go to school without some big, old, strong-toned men being predators on our little girls. And when individuals, good, decent people in our society come out to say, no, this can't happen. Those guys are threatened. Their lives threatened to cut short. Somebody's dead. And I don't know who this person is. Just an onlooker maybe. Someone who just goes here to support the initiative to say that we can't have this. And that person is dead. And we're supposed to just sit back here. Hey, social media. You know, all these guys jostling for position, showing who has the best vlogging show. You need to talk about this. JA Radio, you're doing your thing. I'm asking you to do a live JA Radio. So Flow, you know you're always on it, and So Flow, I have given you a hard time sometimes saying, oh, come on, don't just make Jamaica look so bad. But it is as bad as you say it is. Damn, I have to concede. It is as bad. And maybe that's why they come after you so much. Because they don't like when you talk about it. This is evidence. So they want to take our country. They want to do as they like with our people. They want to hold us hostage. And you can't talk about it either. Because if you talk about it, here comes the warfare. Damn, I of all person have to concede and bow down and say, wow, you all were right. Because I always wanted to see the best and the most positive thing. And while I believe that a lot of the people are good by nature and good intention, have good intention for their people, it is very obvious that this thing that is happening, the new Jamaica, the different influences in Jamaica that has created this monster-like place, is one where we got to take back, because we can't run away. We can't run away. We can't let these guys win. Who is doing it? Regardless of who is doing it, catch them, waterboard their behind. This gas them and light them. Don't ask politicians for no help. Don't ask the police officers. We want to obey the law. But I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry. If the people don't get vicious, these animals are going to wipe them out. Don't you see? It's war, it's war, it's war. It's war. It's war, people. It's war. Because now, I'm afraid to go home. I didn't say I'm not coming. I didn't say they're going to stop me. But I'm saying I'm afraid. I'm really afraid now. If you're going to have a peace concert and somebody's going to shoot it up because you're saying no more, that means you want to just continue to take our girls and our women and hold them hostage. Listen to me, Miss Kitty. I always call up your name. I'm using your slang. Who vex? Vex! I want to hear you. I listen to you all the time. I support you. Regardless of what some of these monsters want to say about you. I respect you as a woman because you're strong. And you're terrible sometimes, and I love it. It's time for the women to get terrible. This might not meet the media and the news because they don't care about locals for the most part sometimes. So if it's not featured here, I feel like it's my responsibility to come on here and to talk about it and to give some support to my friend Claude Sinclair and to say, Claude, I know that you are a warrior, you know? I know that you are a fighter, and I know that you're willing to die for your people because you could have been in America quite comfortable and you chose to go home. This is what the beast, they don't want you to do. They don't want us to come back home. They want us to stay in America, you know, and Canada and England and wherever, and build other nations and forget our own. We don't mind building other nations. We contribute to it positively. But we're still Jamaicans. And no matter how much they hate us talking, we're not going to stop talking. People on my channel that subscribe to me, if you care for me, and I think you do, I want you to go over to Claude Sinclair's channel and, you know, give him a shout out and give him your support, because he has been one of those very influential persons to me in terms of my growth, you know, seeing me struggle, trying to figure out myself as an African person and trying to, you know, talk back and contribute to my country in distance. And invited me to a very powerful thing. That Paul Bogle thing changed my life. I stood there. I struggled to walk to go to the Morant Bay courthouse. It was the toughest thing I ever had to do, staying up an entire night without sleep. But it built my character. It built me. It helped me to understand what Paul Bogle and those people did that were murdered. Man, I'm emotional with this today. And to think that the person who arranged that, the person who says, let's not forget our forebears, could have died just calling for peace. That's what Paul Bogle did. He was saying peace. We want peace for our people. And he got murdered. We can't stand by and watch our heroes and stand by and watch our individuals who actually make a difference in our world, in our community, get killed, and we just back up and say another one bite the dust. We cannot do that. Jamaican people, I want you to go out there and I want you to raise hell. Tomorrow the parliament should be so full. There should be no business as usual. Jamaica should turn upside down tomorrow. Just because one person did anything, that's not one person too much. A concert disturbed. People go out of peace. One little night of peace to forget the war and the problems in Jamaica. And they had to scatter for their life. Do you know that feeling? Do you know what that must feel like? I'm surprised that I'm not letting off some more expletives today. Something is holding me back. And maybe it's because I want this message to be received. Be blessed, everybody. Pick up yourself, Claude. And I'm so sorry I don't have that thing open right now. ESP. I don't remember the name of the radio program. I'm going to just put it in my description. I can't even think straight right now. Stay blessed.